Hey everyone, I have an exciting video for you today. I have Elizabeth Ann, who goes by Liz, with me from Home Exit Solutions out of Sioux City, Iowa. How you doing this morning, Liz?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing very well. So thank you for jumping on this. You were gracious enough to say yes to a video, not really knowing me very much, and got it all set up in 24 hours. So I appreciate that.
No problem.
Excellent. So what we do on all our videos is we sort of jump in and learn about your story. So why don't you tell everybody, Liz, what you do in your business and what Home Exit Solution is, and just give us a little color first.
Home Exit Solutions. So I started basically in June of last year. And I got inspired because I found out about wholesaling. I've always been interested in doing real estate investing. But when I found out about wholesaling where I didn't need any money of my own, I thought, this is a good place to get started. My ultimate goal really is to move into rental properties and flipping and all of, those things. But right now I'm just kind of wholesaling until I get to a point where I feel like I have enough cash built up where I can start doing those things.
Yeah. So wholesaling is a tremendous thing to get good at, because one of the things that you learn when you're in the business long enough is the real, I don't know if I want to call it value, is made when you can find and communicate with motivated sellers, right? If somebody's property is clean enough and they put it out on the MLS and they've signed a 180-day contract with a realtor, not really motivated, right? They're willing to wait. So I truly believe for people starting out, they may want to start out saying, hey, I want to wholesale because I want to build chunk money and I want to build my stack of cash or whatever that is. But I got to tell you, if you can learn wholesaling early, your investing career will be light years ahead of anybody else, because the art of talking to motivated sellers and solving problems is a trait most people don't have. So congratulations.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
I started out because, I've been in sales for 19 years. So, and I've always taken the educational and consultative approach to my sales as opposed to actually trying to sell somebody something. I usually, educate people and let them make their own decisions. But part of that sales career was selling businesses. So I sold the intellectual property of businesses, and I got really good at negotiating. So this is just, I feel like just a step up from that. And it's my own, so I can build my own dream as opposed to building someone else's. So
yeah, this is a side hustle, or if it's your full-time job, is the way to go, right? So I know you've done some business in a couple of different locations. Do you remember the first one?
Yeah, the first one I actually just closed yesterday.
Yeah.
So, and I'm working on getting a few more under contract right now. But the first one has been an absolute doozy. So I started my journey in June and actually in May. So I went to a seminar and I paid $200, went to a seminar, and then I bought a $1,000 program, which you don't need to do that. I know that the company I bought it from is a great company. And if you have, 24 hours a day to sit down and actually go through everything that's in there, it's basically just like they open up a library of videos of all different kinds of things, from wholesaling to flipping to rental properties to whatever you can imagine. But the problem is I had 90 days and I work a full-time job. So it was really difficult for me to get through everything. And not only that, it was, there's no blueprint. So you're just thrown into all these videos and then you try to learn as much as possible. So after that expired, I was like, well, what do I do now? So I got on YouTube and I found Max Maxwell.
Yes.
And I him and watching him. And then I watched the people that he would refer us to, that he would interview. And then this went on for several months. I got I started my website. I got my name, my business name, Home Exit Solutions. And I kind of just sat on it and I got stuck in analysis paralysis for several months. I thought, oh my God, I need to know everything about this before I can start. And I talked to a friend of mine in Omaha, and he's a successful investor. And he said, Liz, you do not need to know everything. You'll never know everything. This industry is ever changing. You just need to start. I was like, makes sense. So I went home that week and I finished my website and I've ordered my business cards, and I was like, I'm going to make a go of this. The following weekend, which was towards the end of November, I was at a birthday party for a neighbor. And we were talking, everybody's like, well, what do you do? And I was like, well, this is what I do. And somebody said, oh, well, I know a house that has been red tagged and it's in our neighborhood. And I'm like, holy cow. Well, we live in a neighborhood with like $350,000 houses. So I'm like, how does that happen? It does.
It does.
So immediately on Monday, I called the city inspector and I got the owner's information, called her, and I had the house under contract that night. She sent all the documents back the next morning via DocuSign, and I posted it on Facebook in different REI groups, local, and I literally had a buyer in 2 hours show up to my house, give me a $500 EMD, and say, I want this house. So it was a whirlwind, but it was awesome because I'm just really so thankful that I listened to my friend and started telling people this is what I do, and because that got me my first deal. I kind of dinked around and sent out like some direct mail pieces handwritten, but now that I have cash in my account, I'm going to go ahead and like start dropping marketing campaigns now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's so much you just sort of highlighted there. I want to kind of peel it back just so people can really connect. First and foremost, like lots of us, right? We get started real estate investing, whatever it's rentals or wholesaling or flipping or whatever it is, because we're attracted by the vision of what it can do for us. And often that means we go to a class, a course, $200 or sign up for something greater than that. But when you do that, the key is you've got to take action, right? In your case, it sounds like they had a 90-day clock on it, which was probably their way to spark action, I guess. But it also seems like they overloaded you because they didn't give you a blueprint that says, okay, here's, I almost envisioned them giving you the old Encyclopedia Britannica, and you're too young to know what that is. But it was a set of books like this, right? With every letter.
I had those.
Yeah. They should have said, you know what, for you, go look at W, right? Forget flipping, forget notes, forget all this, go look at wholesaling. So shame on them, whoever they were. And we don't need to name them because that doesn't matter.
No.
But having a blueprint is that is one thing that new investors have to do, because besides analysis paralysis, the other thing that I see as a mistake is, I call it the shiny object problem. Right? And you can get that from YouTube. So let's you can get that for free as well, right? Yeah, you can go see Max Maxwell, which is one of the best human beings I know. I've met him a couple of times, and he's great. But then if you turn over, you can find somebody doing notes, and then you could find somebody doing seller financing, and then you can find somebody buying out of the MLS. And you're a ping pong ball or a fish going after shiny objects. So stop that.
Right.
Pick your thing. And as you said, go take action.
Right.
So that's the first thing. The second thing you did, which you mentioned sort of just happenstance, is once you decide what you're going to do, tell everyone. Right? You went to a party and I got the kind of feeling that you were uneasy telling people. Stop it. Tell everybody loudly and proudly, especially your friends, because they're going to be the ones where you can stumble and maybe you don't have your 30-second pitch down yet or whatever that is. Just keep talking about it, because this is a relationship business, right?
Right.
I think one thing that people should do, and maybe this is a goal for you, is you should try to find 5 or 10 new people every week. Right? Yeah.
Well, I started putting my business cards at nail salons and doctor's offices. Just drop in and say, hey, I was wondering if I can leave a few of these. And they let me. And it's like, whatever. I mean, because I just moved to Sioux City. So I have to build my name here.
Yeah.
I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska, and I have tons of friends, and I can do anything I want and be successful there. But the thing is that I need to build my brand here, because this is where I live now.
Yep.
But my kids are still in Omaha because they're, I have a granddaughter, and I still will do business there.
Yeah.
Because I a lot of investor friends and they're like, hey, find me these properties. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm out. Like,
Yeah.
I do it.
Yeah. And then the other thing you mentioned in your story is, somebody passed you a lead, but again, I know lots of people that would have just taken that lead, maybe dinked around on the internet and gave up. No, you called somebody, right? You people, get off your computers, speak to people live.
Right.
And, come on, it's not virtual wholesaling, which means you never have to talk to anybody. Go talk to somebody. And you got the information, got the number, spoke to the lady, and you had it locked up that day. Again, sounds simple. I can tell you lots of people don't do that, right? They're just stuck.
Oh, I know.
So,
since I posted my stuff on Max Maxwell's page, I've had I can't count how many messages I've had asking me what's your strategy? Teach me how to do it. And I'm just like, I am not a guru. I just am an action taker.
Exactly. Take action.
Like I said, I got stuck in analysis paralysis, but I normally am an action taker. I think that just the array of information and all these different, like you said, you can do seller financing. You can do, sell it to turn around and do a double close, which is what I ended up having to do with my wholesale deal. But there's just so many exit strategies. But when you hone in on one thing and learn it and do it, I think it makes things a lot easier.
I would tell you, I would go this far. And this really isn't for you because you're doing it, but it's for people watching this. Find your one thing and give it 30 days. Go. Right. Stop analysis paralysis. Stop looking at all the shiny objects. You're not doing yourself any success. You're just going to be stuck where you are, and you're going to waste, 50 hours looking at YouTube University. Right. Go do something. So I want to make sure we close on this. So you get it. You take all the action. You find a buyer, which just tells me you had a deal. So congratulations, right? That's the thing. Other thing people need to realize is finding a buyer when you truly have a deal is not hard, right?
Right. I had a 45 buyer list in 2 hours after I posted that thing. It was crazy.
That's exactly what I was going to ask is if you had a deal, I guarantee you the first one you sold it to would not have been the last one. And you had 45 in 2 hours. So first off, save those names because if they're a buyer once, they're buyer twice. Congratulations.
Yep. Absolutely.
You have a list now. So why don't we put a cherry on top and just celebrate? You don't have to give exact numbers, just round numbers. You bought it for X, you sold it for Y, you profited Z. If you don't mind, what did it mean?
Just real quick, I originally offered her $50,000, and then after we did the title search, we found out that she owed $47,000 in judgments and liens.
Oh,
so I went back to her and I said, I feel really bad because you do owe all this money and I want you to be able to walk away with as much as possible. So I'm willing to go to 60. So we re-signed. So I went to 60.
Oh, so stop. So one sec. So you had it locked up at 50. Then you are a good human being. And you said, you know what? I want to do right by you. Let's do 60. And she said, of course, she said, thank goodness you're a lifesaver, blah, blah, blah.
Yep, exactly. So I won't walk away with 60. And I said, no, unfortunately. And I had to pull out the title search and say, these are the things that we found, but you will get 12. So she ended up walking away with just under 13,000. But I had the property under contract with another guy who I ended up having to sign a purchase and sale agreement with him. One thing I will say is that when you do find a buyer, this is a mistake I made and I learned from, no big deal, I learned, is that you have to make sure and say, when can you close and do you have cash? Because you do not want a cash buyer that's going to go and try to get a loan on the house, whether he's in the game or not, and the bank will give him the loan. Not give a person a loan on your assignment fee. Yeah. So if they don't have the cash to pay you your assignment fee, to buy the house and pay you your assignment fee, move on to another buyer because it's a pain in the neck. Amen. I almost lost the deal because the city was going to take the house the next day on February 1st. The city said, the house is ours. She owes us $40,000. And if you don't close today, we have the house tomorrow. So it was kind of a do or die situation. So,
yeah. So a couple of things there. I want to make sure we go back and give you props, but also highlight this for others watching this. This business, if you do it right, you're going to be in it for a long time. Your reputation matters. And frankly, I believe in good karma. I frankly believe if you didn't go back and up that to 60K, something would have happened and you would have lost this deal and the city would own the house today. I don't know that for sure, but my experience says good karma and putting it out there means that you would have lost this deal because you were being greedy. So I applaud you for doing right by the seller. So good job there. So sounds like it all finished up well on the 31st of January. She's taken care of. She walks away with 13. Your buyer's got a property that they're not going to fix. The city is paid off. And how much roughly did you put in your pocket?
I put just a little over $8,000 in my pocket.
Look at that. That is awesome. This thing works, right?
It does.
Yeah.
You just have to take action and you have to be persistent.
Yeah. So again,
a lot of stuff comes up.
So again, the keys that I take away from this story that I just want to highlight before we go back and sort of go back to where it all began in May or June of last year is you knew what you were doing. You focused. You started talking to people, which I equate to networking. You found something. You took action. You jumped on it. You locked it up. You then, through your due diligence process, found that the seller really needed a little extra, and you gave that to her willingly. I know lots of people that would have said, nope, sorry, I've got a contract and blah, blah, blah. But I really believe if you would have done that, you would have lost the deal and the city would own it today, not you. And then ultimately you found a buyer, which is the easiest part of this business. When you find it, you built a buyer's list because you've got more people that want it and you got some money in the bank. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. So why don't we go back and, talk about what was that aha moment or when you finally jumped in to doing real estate, right? You said, I think it was May of last year. You've been in sales a long time, but why real estate for you? What was your story?
So my story is I'm sick. I have systemic lupus and I have been sick for a long time and I have terrible complications. I've had kidney failure. It's affected my heart. It's just not good. Mm-hmm. So I have 3 children, 17, 19, and 21, and a granddaughter. I have no life insurance. So if something were to happen to me, I would not be able to leave my children with anything. So real estate to me is a way that I can build a legacy to leave. And not just build a legacy of money and rental properties. I'm talking a legacy where I can teach my kids how to do it too. So this was just, I prayed about it and I kept hearing this commercial every time I was in the car after I prayed about it. And I was just like, well, I feel like this is like my answer. So I went
That's
to
a clue, people.
And now here I am.
that is a very touching story, and really what I take from that is what means why I think you're going to be successful. So I talk to lots of people about this, both on videos and just via networking, right? I sort of do everything I say others do, and sometimes the why is weak, right? A weak why is, oh, I want to stack paper like all these people, or I want to have the $100,000 check, or I want the flash, right? The sizzle.
Right.
Those people are not going anywhere, right? They'll realize this business is hard. They'll hit one roadblock after another and just sit on their ass and then complain.
Right.
However, there's people like your situation where your why is strong. It is unquestioned. You could feel it when you were talking about it, that you're just not going to stop. And it's, I promise you, it's not about the money. It's not about the rental properties that you collect. If you can truly teach your 17-year-old, 19-year-old, and 21-year-old to take action, even if this is their side hustle, right? They have a day job and they do this on the side, you're going to change their life for the better and ultimately your grandchild's life for the better. So I applaud you for doing that. Those are the kind of whys that it takes, people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're not going to stop. I mean, you just look over at your children or your grandchild and you're like, nope, I'll get up off my butt. Yeah, the city's going to be a pain in the ass, but I'm going to fix it. Yep, nobody knows me, but I'm going to keep talking. Yep, I'm going to go to nail salons and doctor's offices. You are just going to keep going. This is going to be awesome to watch you roll.
I'm excited for the future for sure.
All right, well, let's talk about the future. So you've got your first deal, got a little cash in the bank, you do some marketing. Let's fast forward 3 to 5 years. What do you think? What do you think this means for you, Liz, in 3 to 5 years? You thought about it?
Yeah, I have. I would like to own at least, I want to own 10 rental properties in the next 3 years. Also, I would like to complete at least, I want to get to a point by 3 years from now that where I'm completing at least 50 wholesale deals a year. And I would also like to flip 4 houses, like one every quarter, by 3 years from now. That's my goal.
That's awesome. So, so obviously we're starting first with wholesaling, right? You're going to ramp that portion of the business up. Probably in the next 12 to 18 months, you're going to be getting to a point where you have deal flow, as they call it. Then where do you go next? Do you go right? Do you see wholesaling lead to flipping, or do you see wholesaling lead to rentals first, or how does that work?
I see wholesaling leading to flipping, because then those flips, the money I make from the flips, I plan to buy property with.
God. Okay. That makes perfect sense to me. So really what I hear you saying is you're going to go create a bunch of chunk money, get very good at creating chunk money. Chunk money obviously is money that shows up intermittently in big chunks. That's what I call it. And at some point you're going to peel off one of the plum deals and flip it. Right?
I actually have one that I have my eye on right now for a flip.
Nice.
I have an offer in, so we'll see.
See, that's what you do. You just keep rolling. Your why is strong, young one. You're going to be just fine. And then
I'm not as young as you think I am, though.
Every lady's young. That's what I've learned in life. They're all young. Just safe. It's just safe. Everybody's young.
That's funny.
Yeah, and you all weigh 90 pounds. That's all I know. It's just really crazy. It's just safe. So, and then that flipping is going to lead to rentals. So, I love how you plan it. I ask that question, and sometimes people are like, I don't know, but you have a plan, right? So you put this to work. I really like it. So you did a deal locally. I think you mentioned when our sort of, quick 2-minute pre-call, you're looking to wholesale in 2 different spots, right? You're in Iowa, and you're going to also, where was the second market?
Omaha, Nebraska.
And that's where your boots on the ground are, right? Your reputation, your family, all of that. So that makes perfect sense to me. Which one are you focused on today? Do you have a focus?
I found that the Sioux City market is hard. And what I mean by hard is that when you are finding properties, especially starting out, you want to work in good neighborhoods that have a few bad eggs, right? Because those are more attractive to investors. Unfortunately, the area that I'm in is full of bad neighborhoods. You would literally have to buy an entire neighborhood in order to get anything going around here. So there are those few bad eggs, which, I'm reaching out to. My boyfriend is a firefighter, and so I get the red tag list.
Nice.
So it's easy. I mean, I can get it from him, or I also can call the city and pay $20.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad thing that he's given it to me. But right now I'm focused on that, but I also have investors in Omaha whom I'm friends with who have called me, even since I posted on Facebook that I closed the deal. And they're like, great, this is what I need. Can you help me find these properties? Well, yeah, of course I can. They're looking for specific things. So I'm focused on both areas, which is okay, because I'm trying to teach my 19-year-old to be like an acquisitions manager in Omaha for me. So he can go see that, like if I find a house like on the code violations list or something, he can go see the house, take pictures of it for me, and then I can then start contacting the owners. So yeah, both areas.
Yeah. So what I hear you saying, and again, I'm just trying to read between the lines, where I think you're going to go with this is you're going to focus your marketing campaign on the market where your son is, and try to build up leads there. Then where you live, you're going to be doing the, driving for dollars, networking, kind of all of that stuff. That's what I think you're telling us.
Yep.
Yeah. That makes
And I found out that I'm like the only person that does this here.
Score! Now that you've said that.
Not in Omaha. Omaha is a bigger market. But where I'm at, I'm the only, like all the investors I've talked to here, they're like, never heard of anybody doing this before.
Awesome. Well, that's good. You're just, again, if that is true, which I'm sure it is, you just need to be a loud voice, because when you're the only voice screaming, very easy to hear you. Your only job is to scream frequently and often. So
exactly.
that's very, very cool. Well, this has been so much fun for me. I learned a lot of stuff. It's going to help a lot of people because a lot of people just need to hear people like you say, you know what, you just need to get started, which, oh, by the way, is going to be the title of your interview, by the way, just so you know,
Okay.
which is awesome. But I always close by turning it over to you, right? You, the guest. You can, anything you'd like, tell about your website, what you're looking for. If you want buyers, you want private money, whatever you want, this is your time to shine. Go ahead and ask for it.
I'm not really looking for anything right now. What I really would like to say is there's a lot of people, especially on Maxwell's group and a couple other groups I'm in, and they get on there and they say, I'm interested in wholesaling. How do I start? Please go to YouTube University. I promise you it'll be the best no money you've ever spent in your entire life. Just invest in yourself. Watch the videos, take notes. Don't just watch the videos, take notes and watch them again, because there is so much information that's available for free. And don't message people and say, can you teach me your ways? Because there's really no way to teach somebody how to take action. Either you have it or you don't. And unfortunately, I sat on it, and I really wish I would have just started. So that's my takeaway here.
Wow, I could not imagine a better way to finish this video. I think this has been great. Again, I could tell you, I talked to lots of people. Your why is strong, so you're going to keep going, which is awesome. I look forward to you teaching your children and taking care of the next generation and your grandchild. So that is so awesome. I want to thank you again for joining this, and congratulations on your first deal of many.
Thank you so much.
All right.